Now that's what I was going for. Nice and shiny floor. Hello, everybody. This is Frogman. Welcome back to Satisfactory. Last episode, or episode 2, we got some plastic, we got some functions, we got some cool things, and we got our manufacturers, and we got some more stuff so that we can actually kind of finally start building some of the more, what tier are we in anyway? Tier 6, 5, and 6, something like that. Doesn't really matter. It's been a minute since I've been in here to play. So I did go ahead and get the last one of the last textures. I believe this is the last texture, except for maybe anything that might be made out of aluminum. And I like this inside buildings, especially kind of dark buildings or something like that, because the floor will then reflect some of the light that is seen above, so you kind of get your rays, shadows, and kinds of things and stuff. And the signs reflect off the floor, so you get some general symmetry when it comes to things. I just like how this looks with the glass, especially because it gives you another reflective surface up there. We may go ahead and put more lights back behind there so that you can actually kind of see the belts through the glass. It does help a little. Problem is the glass kind of tends to remove a little bit of the flow, and there's not a whole lot back there other than just belts and lights and things, so I do enjoy it. I've been a little busy in between episodes since we did get manufacturers. That allows us to do a little bit of work. So if you look up in the top right hand corner, I have been making the modular engines slowly but surely, because of the fact that kind of just one of those things. As you get the technology to build the stuff, build it. Don't sit there and toss a whole bunch of junk into a bin or two. Just build it. The thing is we're going to need almost every single part that is needed for the projects to be built as we go anyway. So the automation is going to be necessary clear to the end of the thing. So just dedicate a section, leave it sit there. If nothing else, if you have the excess parts, run the parts into an awesome sink. I mean, it's just points at that time. So let's go take a look at what we have been doing. We'll start with looking upwards. I think what I want to do is something kind of like this. I'm not 100% set on it yet because of the fact that it just seems to kind of change the way things work. I did at least use the glass frame foundations, but we're going to move. Basically, what I wanted to do is anything that's going to be, what is this, tier 5 or whatever, anything that requires a manufacturer is going to be built above everything else, because of the fact that, well, those things are ridiculously slow, for one, and they need to be a lot of them. And, well, just to run all of the belts from outside of where the actual base was, or where our outskirts were previously. So, like, I've already moved a little bit of stuff over here. We can go take a look real quick. We'll run back here very quickly. We were making motors above there, and I decided to remove them. They're now being made over there. I know that's kind of a long way to drag a few things, but like, well, I mean, all the parts that we need for motors and rotors motors are over there. So that just kind of made the most sense, considering that I need to make motors in those things, or use motors to make the modular engines in that thing. So the heavy modular frames are currently stealing a little bit of screws off of one of these sections over here, because we're not running at max capacity for these rotors. So not the best idea, I know. I need to kind of double down on some more screws somewhere. Screws may be a thing. The problem with screws is because they're so pain in the butt, because of the fact that we only have the tier 3 belts right now, or tier 3 belts. Yeah, tier 3 belts right now, the steel belts. Trying to get them dense enough to be able to make them worthwhile to build somewhere else is going to be really hard. So part of the things that I may start doing is we may start outsourcing some of the iron ingots that we're using in these screw factories and these wire factories to somewhere else, and then use that bottom layer down here, right here, for more screws. So we could outsource all of this stuff and bring in ingots, which we may do. We may build a smelting factory over there for all of our iron ingots very soon, and then, for that matter, all of the iron that's being utilized or dug up over there where we kind of were messing around last episode. We may go ahead and build an iron smelting facility over there and just pump all that iron into a thing. That way I don't have to do all of these smelters here. That's just as you start to realize that you're starting to run out of space for certain things. The problem, again, like I said, is trying to get the density into the screws. Granted, they stack to 500, but it's still, one of those makes 50 per minute. So it's a lot of stuff to come out of one thing, and I still have enough room for some more melters down here, but I don't have enough room for more of those. So we can continue to kind of play on. So on this side over here, as we've been kind of talking about, I went ahead and set up the next level of the space elevator phase. Quit bouncing your head on the wall. Quit. Go over here. All right, we went ahead and set up 5 manufacturers so that we can start making the modular engines getting fed into the space elevator, and that required me to kind of rejig this mess over here because we were hand feeding this mess. It is now set up completely so that we're getting both of the parts that we need. We're pulling the rotors all the way around the base into here, and I'm pulling the whatever you call them. Whoop, I didn't want to do that. The plates, the reinforced plates are coming from the other side of the base, running around and going into here and feeding a few of these. Now, we don't need all of them right now, and theoretically I could probably knock back on, I think, 5 of those. I think we could get rid of 5 of them, but for right now I'm just going to leave it alone because it's there, and if I need them, I got them. Again, like I stated, the engines, the motors, they're being made right over there. The wiring kits that we're going to need for the... shoot, I don't even remember. What are those called? Give me a manufacturer. Adaptive control units. We still need the wiring kits for those, so we've got the ability to do this. But as you can see, as we kind of move on forward, man, it is loud over here. Turn your headphones down. I think you guys will be all right. As you can see, the adaptive control units over here are going to require circuit boards and computers, neither of which we're currently making. So that means we're going to have to do a little bit of fooling around. We're not, I think for that matter, I'm not making 2, okay, it's 1 per minute. I believe we're at least making that. Why did you do that? Give me this. I believe we're at least making 2 per minute on that part. So theoretically, we should be able to run 2 manufacturers building those parts so that we can get to complete phase 3 section and open up some more technology. So the next couple episodes, what we need to do is we need to get to automating the parts for that so that we can move forward. Plus, once we get computers will allow us to unlock, well, trains. And trains means I can start easily moving away from all of this silliness that is this base and start building around to where we want to go. So let me look in here real quick. The goal basically is I want to get to, well, this for 1, which I think I can actually probably go ahead and research right now. And we can get into here. We need to be able to make computers for this. That'll get us conveyor belt Mark IV. Speak, please. Pipeline engineering, this will get us, we can do this one now too as well. I think I've got plenty of stuff to do that. Monorail technology is where I'm very much interested in getting things because we need to be able to do this. So looks like right now we can do a little bit of unlocking of things. Not that it's really going to matter for us, but I'm really kind of interested in this packager because that means we can get into fuel, which means we can get into the jetpack, which might actually help us out a little bit. Now, we're going to do a little bit of hypertube work around the base so that I can get up on top of things from the center section and do some more things, and I may or may not do that today. But I think for that level, what do we need to do all of that? Let's do all of this while we're busy building a few things, so let's select that milestone. Is there anything in there we can give it to it right now? We can give it those. Those, give it all of that. And let's go get the rest of that and then finish it. We can turn that loose. That's going to be interesting because it's going to fire him through the roof. I'm going to move that hub. The hub's going to go like over a center section out here eventually. So I need the wire is right here, so I need a lot of wire. I need 2,000 wire. 1, 2, 3, 4. Get us 5 so I have some on us. I need another stack of that. Thank you. I went ahead and moved the plastic and the rubber outside. I don't know why I did that. This is where they're going to eventually live anyway. Or they're going to live on the side that they get brought in depending on what happens. And let's see. Motors. I need a few more motors. Motor. Boom, boom. Let's go turn that in. That'll get us a machine that we can have a little bit of fun with. because I do think we already have a recipe that I can use in it. This is not staying here. This is not permanent. It needs to go away. I actually need to move it now. Let's see. Click, click, and all of that. Thank you.
Milestone reached. Fluids can now be packaged to allow for transportation via vehicle and conveyor belts. Additionally, highly improved biofuel can now be produced.
All right. Now, what that means is we can get silly and start doing some work with our oil factory system over there, but that's also going to give us a cool little toy called a packager. Give me a little bit of rubber. This thing has a recipe that I really like, and if I can get to it, I'll show you guys. Let's see, packager, go. This one right here, very interesting thing because of this packaged, unpackaged fuel stuff. Do I have enough stuff to build one of these? I do. Do I have enough room? We already got something, which is really fantastic. I already got something, and I found it a long time ago. This is one of the best ways to make fuel because of the fact that you pretty much bypass a lot of the pain that comes with some of this. We don't have to worry about the polymer resin recipe. We don't have to worry about this recipe because of the fact we take a little teeny, notice the difference. Notice the difference, 6 to 4 or 1 to 2. We make a lot of fuel, so when we get into the fuel generators, it's going to really help us out. And there are other recipes that will make this one even more silly as we go on down the line. So it's really cool right now because of the fact we're using this recipe right here to make petroleum coke. I can make a whole lot of fuel out of that residual stuff that we're making for other things. So let's get into the next step, which is I want to build green circuits or circuits. This is not factorial. Circuits are going to need to be made in an assembler, and circuits are going to be used for basically making a few things. We're going to need circuits for computers as well as for the next step. So the current recipe we're going to use is going to be 2 copper sheets to 4 plastic, which is 15 per minute and 30. And I quit eating the nuts, dude. We have enough left over out of this system over here that is making all of our current copper sheets to be able to run about 4 assemblers flat out and not affect anything else. As you guys know, we're using the copper sheets to make AI limiters, and we're using them to make the rotors. Now, I don't want to affect the rotor line so much as I care less about the AI limiters right now. Again, AI limiters, mainly all I'm doing with them is feeding them into an awesome sink because they're a pretty decent source of points, but they're also how we make the, where are they? Logistics. That's how we make the smart splitters because we need AI limiters for those things. So they'll come into handy later on when we get into some other little things. Once we get, I'm basically, like I said, I'm working towards trains so that we can move a lot of this silliness out of this base. And, well, I don't know what we're going to do. I'll probably just leave it sit here and just kind of play around. Or we'll take everything that we make here and shove it into an awesome sink. But we'll be able to kind of siphon off a little bit of the excess stuff. So I want to build, well, we've got copper sheets right here. Plastic's going to come in from wherever, so it doesn't really matter where we put that. I'm kind of thinking what I'm going to do, because of the fact that this wall over here with all this stuff, it's getting a little full. I actually think when we get to this point here, we have a full 6 belts of stuff coming in, right? Or coming in or going out. So this side is getting a little full as far as production. So I think I'm going to build them over on that side so that we can utilize this side. So let's go up on top here and find a place to build all this stuff. So we're building copper wire right here. I went ahead and already moved this down. It used to run around the outside and drop out of the way, so we have a little bit of room. So the big problem, once again, is I'm trying to kind of keep things very lined up and symmetrical and silly. In order to build this nicely, I want this conveyor splitter right here to line up nicely with the line that's right here, so that when we're building this kind of stuff, we can kind of figure things out. Because I'm not going to be able to use, I'm not going to be able to use it. I mean, you kind of back and forth kind of building things. I want to kind of keep things decently looking nice. So what we're going to do is we're going to figure probably about right there. Which way are you facing? We're going to be bringing in plastic from this side, which is going to allow me to do that up in the air and kind of come off of that wall eventually. So I'm going to start with that kind of a feature right now. And then what that's going to allow me to do is decide kind of where we're going to build those things. So let's see. I want to do, we'll just do one of these for now. If you notice, it's way out there. But what that's going to tell me right off the bat is where I can actually place the initial conveyor, which should be about right there. Can you get in line, please? Okay, and then if I hit R, it should connect correctly. Then I can kind of guess where I need to be able to place my one of those things. So because this is going to be the direction that that's going to come from, the assembler can go about that lined up right there. There's the line, click. So if I do this and I do that, it should line up exactly where I want it. I know that's a kind of a pain in the butt way of building things, because now I know exactly where I can put the rest of them. But I kind of, like I said, you're kind of having a hard time. One of the things that I don't care, kind of having a hard time. One of the things I don't honestly care for is how sometimes the conveyors place considerably different depending on where you snap them to things. But that'll at least keep this line of belts equal and even, so that all we have to do now is do this over here. Then I know exactly where this is going to be, which is right there. Now, we already knew where this was going to be based on the fact that, you know, we already had the line set up. So once you get your lines figured out, one of the other things I wish the game would do is maintain rotation as you stack things. Because I feel like that's such just a simple, easy thing to do, right? Okay, anyhow, then we can do a little bit of belting between those. And look, there's your wire. There's your wire. And our friend came back. And that's that line more or less figured. So we'll probably just hand feed the plastic in from like right here. I'll probably just stick it right here for right now, or I'll build the line all the way out. You back? All right, cool. So then the next step, again, splitters that are going to be coming from this side. Goes that direction. So I'm just going to walk all the way down to you. That ticker thing. That. And that. No. There. Nope. We don't want to do that. We go to there. There. Come back up here. Just barely enough room to do things. All right, and then all I need to do here is set a recipe in you to make sure that you're set up ready to go. We're going to direct them that way for right now. I may build computers. I don't know. We'll figure that out. I'm going to have to be fairly close to a bunch of screws. These are probably going to get transported a really long distance, and I'm not really all that happy about it, but it is how it's going to work. I mean, I think we probably could have built them. Whatever. Let's see. I need my mergers. You're getting ahead of yourself. I'm not going to worry about lining these up with anything in particular, because we're going to go that direction with it, and I want to make sure I press the button so that it connects it up, so it copies the thing. Straight line. And that should have copied all of the stuff in. Good deal. Give it some power. Connect. And those will be a decent number. I mean, I don't really need that much, but this is another one of those things, because of the plastic, you can kind of feed this in and make a little bit of points off of these as well. So we're all yellow. That means everybody's got the recipes. They just don't have any of the stuff to put in it. Okay, so now what we need to do is, I know how much I have left over, which is about a 60 belt. It's about a 60 belt between these two. So what I need to do is I need to pick a 30 off of the top, I believe. I think I had the numbers and I already erased them. Yeah, there's the number. We need 55 parts per minute to feed this little thing. So that means I don't even really need this belt right here. What am I doing? Just put it back the right way. So we just need a 60 belt of leftovers, and one of these, whoop, needs to get set to, give me a line, 66%. Thank you. Awesome. All right, cool. Time to run some belts. Okay, I think the math is going to work out that most of the stuff is going to come off of that line up here. We're making about 340 of these copper sheets at this point in time, and a decent amount of it's going that direction. I mean, there's 14 machines down here and however many it takes to do the work up here, but I think what we're going to do is we're going to steal a little bit right here. We're going to just run it into a couple of 60 belts. So let's see, I need a splitter here, and I'm just gonna put it onto a 60 belt because it's all I got. I really wish they didn't do that. I mean, I really do wish they did not do that. Let's do it from that side. It looks better. Essentially what I want to do is I want to take two 60s off the side of this and just merge them, which I think I can grab it right there. Yeah. Gonna be a nightmare of belts everywhere. Let's get some belting done, and then we'll come back. Okay, I think that had to do that. So we've got a 60 belt of that coming off of here, and that should not really too terribly affect everything. Again, we only need 55, so we're just going to kind of combine it between the two. Right now, we're not using most of either one of them, so it doesn't really matter. But that belt's going to come up here, go over here, get split off of this belt, and get merged into this one, which should produce us something that we can kind of play with. 60 belts, way too much. I mean, it's just going to be too... Why does that look like... Okay, it's pointed the wrong way. Like I said, it's 5 too many, which means we're going to kind of overrun. I could do the math. Again, it's kind of one of those where I wish I could have a splitter or some kind of limiter thing that would let me kind of just do the math without doing the math kind of thing, but I guess it is what it is. So we do that. And I think if I do you two, come back up here, please. I really need to... I want that jetpack. There we go. But we should actually... That should actually pretty stinking close to line up, right? No, not quite. Shoot. Almost lined up. I guess I could have done a better job with that. Let's do this. We'll just line it up with that, and we'll have a little curvy belt up here. Yeah? That should work? Nope. Of course not. What if I do it the other way? Delete you, and you to there. Okay, I can deal with that. No. Cool. Okay, so that should be at least part of it. Again, that's going to take a long, slow march to get over here. It's perfectly fine. Now, let's go do, I think what I'm actually going to say, what I think I'm going to do for right now. Why don't you just run the stuff? Yeah, just run the belts. So, 8, somewhere in here. Hey, put one of these down. Right there. There. And there. We're going to go too high just because I don't feel like making the belt go up in the air one more. So I guess I should have done that twice. Where is it? Where is it? There's one right there, I know. There it is. Okay, cool. Okay, so that's going to need to leave the building somewhere right there. What's up here? Nothing? Beautiful. Give me a thing. Yeah, I know. Lots of plastic sitting on belts. Don't really care. It'll all get eaten up eventually. I guess the only thing, like I said, still drives me nuts about this game is trying to get over things like Factorio and Dyson and Minecraft, for that matter, where resources are limited. They eventually run out. Here, they don't. So you can just build to your heart's content doing various things. Down. I'm out of metal. Okay. Let me run a little bit of stuff, and I got to go get some iron. We're going to run a belt all the way back to the center, and probably have to run 2 belts, actually. So I need a whole bunch of parts, and I'll be back in just a second when we turn this thing back on. Uh-oh, I'm going to have to figure that mess out. We're getting a little tight over here, too. Beautiful. Okay, give me a second. Well, shoot, I guess we're standing here waiting on stuff to happen. Let's go do one more thing real quick, and then we can let that kind of roll. I'm going to be doing plenty of editing on this as it is, so what have we got over here that we needed to turn in? It was something else that needed plastic, rubber, and machine frames, correct? What else is it that we can turn in? We can't turn that one in yet. We can start working on that. I think it's pipeline engineering that I can start to working on. Interesting. Yes, let's select that milestone and get that done. Fill all those up. Copper sheet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Should be sufficient. Probably too much as it is. 50 of those. More rubber. More plastic. 1, 2. Sort. I'm going to have to go get some. Let's see. Rubber needs 1 more of those. We'll just keep 2 on us. And the heavy modular frames are down here. Cool. That's not looking too bad. It's slow. So we're going to be putting those in, I believe it's this one. So circuit, select, save, sign, thank you. I know it's kind of weird, but it's ending up on this side of the deal, so we're going to have to kind of play with it. And kind of certain useless items I think we're going to be building up back here. By saying meaning useless, meaning I'm not going to be carrying more than maybe a stack of them on us at any given time. So let's go turn this in, and then we can sit up here and watch that start to work. Hopefully. Click, 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 click. Yes, please. Did you not launch?
Milestone reached. Improved pipelines and pumps can now be constructed, capable of handling increased throughput of any fluid, as well as providing increased pressure handling for better vertical transport, respectively.
Oh, that's going to get us some good stuff there. Logistics, that'll get us the Mark II pumps and the Mark II pipes, which will allow us to do a little bit more stuff. That also gets us the valve, and the valve is going to be a very handy thing for later on. So let's see what we got down here. We're waiting on that part, that march of that part right there. So how much did we actually need per minute? 30 per minute. Actually, you are stupid. We've been waiting, and that should be as good a belt as you can get it. But I'll fix that when we get there. I hear something being made. Sweet. Come on. That was the first one. First 2 or 3. All right, nice. Circuits. Circuits. Circuits are on the bus. Circuits are on the bus. Circuits are on the belts, and circuits are in the base. I'm going to go fix that belt, and then we're going to continue on. Next episode, we're going to work on getting computers, and I think we're going to try to see about maybe getting a couple of hypertubes up and around because I'm tired of wandering around. But let me go fix this belt, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Plastic. You need fixed. You're wrong. Go. Thank you. Bye, guys.